What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to showcase some Fearow gameplay in the Go Battle League. Fearow is one of, if not just the most underrated Pokemon right now in the meta. It's a flying-type Pokemon, right? With a lot of nice flying-type damage. Peck and Drill Peck together are a very good combination. But you also have Drill Run, which is amazing ground-type coverage for the rocks, the steels, the electrics. Basically, everything that Fearow doesn't want to see, Drill Run coverage is going to give it some play into. I'm going to pair it up with Tinkaton as well as Shadow Quagsire. I'm excited to see what this team can do. Real quick, though, before we get into the battles, I do want to ask if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what Fearow can do. Fearow into Fortress. It's a non-shadow. It's likely going to be on Volt Switch, right? But we can stay in for a second and just test. It's actually on Bug Bite. Okay. These Bug Bites are, for some reason actually doing real damage. I don't love that necessarily, but what I do love about this is probably my best answer into Fortress. And whenever I see Fortress, I think of, like, Carbink potentially in the backline. And my backline is pretty good into that, if that is the case. Alright, they could Sand Tomb bait us here, but I am fine if they do. Because it's not going to make it so I take that much extra damage, and my attack obviously wouldn't be debuffed at that point. Okay, Furret is not a Pokemon that really wants to see a Tinkaton. Really happy I have a hard answer to this. Was that only 5 or is that 6? I think that was only 5, but maybe I'm off by 1. Yeah, that's just a Swift. I feel like this is never the play. Like, even if you don't have Brick Break, isn't the play to always just go for a Trailblaze here to ramp up? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I feel like that, like, in my opinion, that would be the way to play this out. Swift is going to put us down to about half HP. But, I mean, at this point, Gigaton Hammer, after the Fairy Wind and Peck damage that we got against them, should basically knock him out. And that Fortress is in range where a Gigaton Hammer, maybe even a Bulldoze, could be enough to KO. By Fairy Wind down, I do. They don't even get another Swift off, so it's going to be kind of hard to deal with the rest of... Yeah, okay. I think we're fine here. Maybe I shouldn't have swapped out just because now I let the Fortress come in, but I got anxious, okay? I got very anxious. And you can't blame me for that. I think we're still very fine, though. So I could actually probably go for a full farm down here, too, if I wanted. Aqua Tail's going to hurt quite a bit. So we get their second shield. And I don't think I have to shield this move. And honestly, I think shielding is just a misplay on my part anyway. Like, even if I get knocked out here, I can go for a Drill Run on my Fearow. Or I could go for a lot of Bulldozes on my Tinkaton. I think the one way I lose this game is if I, like, shield that move, and then they end up just getting a second Sand Tomb off that knocks us out. And they don't even get that. So instead, we just get 2 Aqua Tails into the Stunfisk with our Shadow Quagsire, and this should be a pretty easy win here. Not quite a 2-shot, but we have so much left this game. There's, like, nothing this Stunfisk can do. Now, Ufisk is a little bit of a core breaker to the team, right? My Quagsire is my one good answer to it, but I have ground-type damage on every single Pokemon on my team. So, like, sure, it's a little bit annoying, but it's not anywhere near unplayable. We'll just Drill Peck this, expedite the game a little bit, because it seems like they're playing this one out. Drill Peck should easily knock out. I guess I had a Drill Run too, but, we'll just go for the BM, I guess. Nice, GG's. Next battle. Fearow into Charjabug. Okay, a little bit less ideal lead matchup here. But, we have ways around this. A lot of neutral damage across the board, and, like, even Tinkaton that's throwing resisted Gigaton Hammers, I think is still not terrible into it. And we actually end up seeing a Shadow Quagsire, of all things, come in to respond to us, which, I mean, they can probably put in some work here in the mirror just because they got a little bit of chip damage with their Charjabug into us, making it so I'm in 2-shot range before they are. But if I want to, I could flip Switch Advantage, which, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing. Looks like that was a CMP too, so I do win CMP, that's good to know. I think the play here is never throw my Aqua Tail, because we know at this point I'm not going to be able to knock him out just yet, but at the next Aqua Tail I will be able to. So if I end up building up a lot of energy here, then I can get as much energy as possible out of this matchup and flip Switch. If they want to shield now, I have back-to-back moves. I can take the final shield from them. And honestly, if they do want to double shield this at this point, then I'm fine letting go of Switch Advantage. They do just let that go, though. What is going to come in? I would be surprised if Charjabug did. Fearow, okay. Gonna be an interesting game. We have a lot of energy here. We get a shield? Okay, I'm gonna just switch, honestly. Because, like, even Fearow into Charjabug is not that bad for us. We have a lot of play just with neutral damage. And I think that's what I'm going to play around. Yeah, we land that move. And now what? I think letting this go is probably the best play. Because I can go for like a big Fairy Wind down here. And then Gigaton Hammer plus Stone Edge should be enough to close out this game. They're going to go for the discharges, but luckily discharge is not that good of a move. I should survive 2 pretty easily, even with that Volt Switch damage, right? And sure, this puts me into just Drill Peck range rather than Drill Run range, but that's not a lot of extra energy. In comes the move. It's going to be a discharge. We survive. They likely swap here into Fearow, so we Gigaton Hammer. And then I think we switch out. We go for the Stone Edge if we can reach it, which I think we can, right? Let me make sure. Oh, well, actually, they just let that go, so we just stay in then, because, I mean, we can Fairy Wind this down. It would be kind of an awkward mud shot down. I think they did have to try to call a bait there. That's not a bad play by them. But because I have so much energy across the board, that would be such a bad call for me to go for, to try to bait there. Because as we saw, they did no shield. There we go, nice. Next opponent. Fearow into Wigglytuff. Okay. You know, this is a Pokemon I have a lot of play into. But obviously my Tinkaton is my best matchup against this. But I think I can probably get some shields down. And once shields go down, I can start going for Gigaton Hammers and Stone Edges a little bit easier. Which is nice. Likely we get a shield, right? Guess not. Did they, like, wait a turn there? I got a full peck through for some reason. I'll take it. They're gonna go for the Icy Wind. Yeah, they do debuff me, so it's a lot harder to farm this down now with my Fearow. I'm just gonna switch out. Because I want to save my Fearow if I can. And I'm fine taking this damage. I think having energy is gonna be what helps me out the most this game. Swift is gonna come through. It's not gonna debuff me thanks to the fact it's not an Icy Wind. And we see a Shadow, or a non-Shadow rather, Gator come in. Aqua Tail might be a bit of a bad play, saying they might try to call this. Yeah, they do. 5. Yeah, I guess I should have Stone Edge. That is a little bit of a mistake by me, but I think my Fearow is still in a pretty good spot to finish this off. Because I have so much energy here, right? That if they shield, they have to double shield. I am kind of concerned about, like, their own Quagsire or, like, a Gastrodon in the back. They shield, okay. They must either not realize I'm already at the next move, or they were just hoping I wasn't. Let's see what happens, though. They're gonna go for the no-shield on this one, okay. What's in the back line? Oh, no! Maybe the worst thing I could see. Shadow Talonflame. I mean, it kind of makes some sense, right? You can't run a team that doesn't have 2 hard Tinkaton answers with a Wigglytuff lead, right? Fair play. A lot of fast move pressure there. I might have had a better shot this game if, like, I don't even know. It doesn't even matter if I Stone Edge the Feraligatr. It's hard to say. All right. Hopefully we don't see another Wigglytuff Shadow Talonflame core. Shelgon, okay. This is kind of annoying because I do have my Tinkaton in the backline. That would so much rather be here, but I think that my Fearow is going to be able to put in some work here anyway. I know a Drill Peck wouldn't one-shot, but I wouldn't mind to see shields come down from their end. It's a non-Shadow Shelgon, so I don't think they can fully farm us down in the 2s. They let that go, okay. And they throw in bad timing. Can I get a full farm down here? I might be able to. I'm going to try to go for it, because if I get a lot of energy out of this, that is massive. Twister. Yeah, they throw in bad timing. That's so costly for them. It lets me get a full farm down, and we'll see what comes in. I mean, obviously that was their big Tinkaton weakness, right? So it might not have a lot of play in the back line. Whoa, Aegislash comes in? That's not really an answer to a Fearow at this point that has this much energy. But it does, like, once again, kind of make me worried about what's in the back. Like, what could be back there? Oh, that must not be a good Aegislash. Why did that, like, 2-shot them? That shouldn't be. That should not be at all. I don't think I've ever seen an Aegislash take that much damage from a move. I think I'm so used to my own now that, like, it's such a strong Pokemon because of its bulk. That if you see one that doesn't have that bulk going for it, it's a little bit more fraudulent. Like, honestly, for a long time, I wasn't the biggest Aegislash fan in the world. I didn't believe in it. And I think a lot of that was because I had a bad one. I'm just going to sacrifice my Fearow at this point. We have a Shadow Quagsire, plus a Tinkaton up a shield in the backline. They are at back-to-back moves on their Aegislash right now, which means that they should be 6 Psycho Cuts away from reaching the next Shadow Ball. So I should be able to Mudshot this all the way down if they let us, which they don't, obviously. I'm just going to bring in my Tinkaton here, though. I think we just close out this game with our Tink at this point. Looks like they might get 2 Hydro Cannons off here. Which is fine if they do, I suppose. Oh, they don't throw? Nice. Just landing this Gigaton Hammer is so helpful. I'm not really that scared of a Hydro Cannon from this Feraligatr against my Quagsire. Now they're going to be in Aqua Tail range, which means this game should just be over. Because that Aegislash now always needs 2 attacks to knock out my Quagsire. And that's going to be really difficult for them. Yeah, we just let this go. We overfarm a little bit here to make sure we can always just get 2 moves off into that Aegislash. And we should be fine. Hydro Cannon hurts a little bit. And now the Gator goes down. Again, they're at 1 Shadow Ball right now, right? But that's going to be like 8 more, actually 9 more chargings because they're at exactly 50 energy. Or it's going to be, like if they go into Sword form, then an Aqua Tail just knocks out. Yeah, we got the back-to-back here. The only way that we could lose this game is if they did end up having back-to-back right now, because while they would lose the first CMP, they actually win the second CMP the way the stance change works, but yeah, they're not going to be anywhere near close enough. Quagsire's too spammy, and there we go, we get the knockout. Fearow put in so much work this game, actually. Getting the knockout against that Shelgon and leveraging all that energy for the backline, that was just diabolical. Next opponent. Fearow into Ludicolo? Oh my goodness. Well, if I don't know if I could imagine a better lead. This is about as good as it gets. Well, they stayed in for a second there too, which is like, what is in the backline? They're so scared of me at this point. This is a little bit annoying, I'm not gonna lie. This is just a little bit annoying. I have to shield because I know it's a Trailblaze, right? But here's the other thing. They are going to have to either shield an Aqua Tail or give me a lot of energy out of this matchup. And sure, Quagsire doesn't want to see Ludicolo, but I can do a lot of damage with a Stone Edge into them. They shield that. Honestly, I think that's a bit of a mistake to shield. Because now, either I get their second shield down, or I just KO them, and they don't get much out of this matchup. Ooh, actually, I'm wrong. They actually just survived out on 1 HP. I don't think I can give up switch advantage. I have such a good lead matchup here that I have to double shield. I didn't realize that Shadow Ampharos could do that. I thought it was squishier than I guess it was. Good thing I have Stone Edge, though. Although, I guess if I didn't, then I could have Mud Bombed the Ampharos. Alright, they're at 4, so they have a Weather Ball now. And they'll have to throw energy here pretty soon. Do they even? I don't know. They actually do throw energy. Okay. So they can always, like, Weather Ball my Fearow, right? But they're never going to get much more out of it than that. But down as shields, there is a chance I could see something tricky in the backline. Like, what about a Ufisk? A Ufisk would be pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, I could see that one coming a mile away. Not going to lie. But I think there might still be a little bit of play. We'll see here, though. Because Drill Run's going to hurt. Or we get a shield. I think I survive a Discharge. If I survive a Discharge and I get another Drill Run off, then we can win this game. But if they knock me out here, then obviously that's over. I need the Drill Run. Yeah, we survived that. That's huge. Because now I think this puts them into Bulldoze range from my Tinkaton. Okay, let's see what they do. They instantly throw the attack here. It's going to be a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb does basically two-shot us, so got to keep that in mind. I'm just going to go for the Bulldoze instantly here. I don't know if they can catch just yet, but well, they actually probably could, right? But I don't know if they expect me to instantly throw. Bulldoze should get the knockout, and now we still have a little bit of HP on our Fearow, and honestly, I think I survive a Weather Ball from this range too. And yeah, they throw energy here. Let's see what they throw. If it's going to be like a Leaf Storm, that would knock us out. But Weather Ball, we survive. And we actually probably survive the Astonish to get a Gigaton Hammer. Maybe I should have bulldozed, though, because now there's a chance if I get knocked out by one Astonished by Ludicolo, I could lose this game, but I didn't think that I'd knock out with a bulldoze. Now we survive. 2 pecks is all we need. I could have made that maybe a little bit less dicey, but honestly, I like how I played that out. You fisking the backline, who's worried? Not me. Not a bad way to start out using Fearow. Honestly, it's been working out pretty well. I know we're a little bit soft to Ufisk on the team, but we've proven it's not the end of the world to see it. All right, Fearow into Togekiss. I think Fearow wins this CMP, right? So this should be favored for the Fearow, but like also that's not always the best thing, because that means that they're going to be inclined to catch at some point. Like, what if they just catch immediately, that is? But they catch on a Licky Licky. That's not terrible to see, because I can build up some extra energy here, and then I can come in Tinkaton, potentially. Nice, and we catch a Body Slam, too. That's big. The Body Slam is going to do a lot less damage than they'd want, and it means that I can overfarm a lot of energy here as well. But I think the Body Slam plus the Shadow Ball might put me close to range where I get knocked out from a Togekiss's Aura Sphere. Or they throw an Alignment. So at least we know this is not an Earthquake. They didn't build up enough energy for that. And they're at, they're dry, so I can overfarm here. I'm actually going to throw after just 3, which is bad timing. I know it's bad timing. You can yell at me in the chat if you want to. But I don't really care about going over 100 energy anyway, so I might as well. Interesting. We see a Mudshot Diggersby as the final Pokemon. I mean, is the play not just to swap back into my Fearow? Because I think my Shadow Quagsire should be able to close this game out eventually. If I peck this into a range where I can knock him out with an Aqua Tail, I should be fine. That was a CMP, I think. And if that was a CMP like I think it was, then that is a guaranteed game over. Yeah, we got the CMP there. That's huge. Okay. This is Stone Edge range. So I Stone Edge this, I Aqua Tail the Diggersby, and we should be fine. The one thing we have to keep in mind is they could always try to go for a catch. You know? What if I come in Tinkaton here, actually? I actually really like this play, because this just puts them into Aqua Tail range. Now, even if they do catch, it's like, no matter what I'm doing this game, I'm just throwing Aqua Tails. I force some energy out of him here. I still have 2 shields for my Shadow Quagsire, and now Aqua Tail should just be enough. We'll throw it instantly, and as long as this knocks out, I don't have to even worry about double shielding the Togekiss. If it doesn't knock out, you know, it's fine. I think that Diggersby is still low enough. It's not a huge problem, but they do have a lot of energy, so maybe it could be a little bit awkward if they end up surviving this Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail gets the knockout. Yeah, that's game over then. Even a Scorching Sands debuff I don't think is going to save them too much right now. I'm going to shield this up because if it is a Fire Punch bait, that guarantees they don't debuff, and if it is a Scorching Sands, that guarantees it's more energy. Yeah, so they go for the Scorching no debuff. We have the Aqua Tail. I don't actually think this is quite enough damage to knock out, unfortunately, but it should be enough damage to put them into range where either I Mudshot down, or potentially I just Aqua Tail again. Nice, let's go. That was a cool game. I'm glad we were able to navigate that end game as well as we did. Next game. We'll see regular Fearow. Imagine Shadow Fearow, by the way. That's a little bit of a scary lead. But honestly, like, I think it is playable. We'll see how it goes in the backline. Okay, we had to bait this out, if I'm being honest, so I'm not, like, you know, upset by this. I am disappointed. I'm just... It's not unplayable. We'll try to just go and get a shield advantage if we can. I think we might get to 2 Stone Edges before we get knocked out by the Shadow Ball plus the Hex. Yeah, there's a shield. 7. I mean, I hope what happens here is we survive, but just enough to only give them 1 Hex of energy. Or they surf and, for some reason, don't even put us into Hex downrange just yet. They should be at 4 right now. On the 3 cycle to surf, though, so they're basically at 1. Okay, they let that go. Dude, I lagged! I lagged! Oh my goodness, that's actually so annoying. I should have got that next Stone Edge off, because that was 5 mud shots for 3 hexes, but somehow the 4th hex knocked me out. Man, that puts me in such a worse position. Because if I got that final shield or the knockout, like, this game's probably just over. And now, like, You know, it's still, like, maybe playable depending on what's in the backline, but that is so rough. Why did it have to lag then, of all times? I think at this point, though, I have to invest in Tinkaton. They do knock me out there. I was hoping I'd survive that to have, like, a catch opportunity later on this game. Alright, let's just knock this out. I mean, it could be on Chilling Water, which is probably why they came back in here, just to debuff us. Man, this game shouldn't have been like this. This game shouldn't have been like this! You guys saw it, you all saw it. I saw it, you saw it, we all saw it. I'll shield the Chilling Water, I kind of have to. But I'm gonna get hit by a second one here, unfortunately. Yeah. That's rough. I guess we'll see what's in the back, right? If the final Pokemon is something that either a 2-shield Tinkaton would have been able to sweep against, or that just having switch advantage with a Fearow would have won us the game into, then, you know, then we can start really complaining. Which, if I'm being honest, I bet there's a lot of things in the back line. Like, I honestly bet it's a Feraligatr right now. And a Feraligatr, we would have had so much play into. They do come back in Jelly. You know, maybe they're just, like, really disrespectful of Tinkaton. Maybe the final Pokemon is a second Alolan Ninetales. Yeah, it's a Gator. I think we would have won that without the lag. I think we would have won that. It's fine. I don't have to win them all, but that is just disappointing. Alright, next game. Fearow into Dusclops. Okay, I like this lead. Do I? I don't know. I don't hate it because my Quagsire avoids it. I guess it's kind of bad that my Tinkaton isn't against them. But, like, the thing is here, if they go Brutal Swing, I survive pretty easily, right? And if they go Dragon Claw, I outpace them. So, either way, it does get a little bit awkward for them. They do no-shield that, okay. So, like, now they're in range where I could knock them out with just an Aqua Tail if I had to. I'm going to try to get some shields down, because I think a lot of the things that Tinkaton doesn't want to see that could be in the backline are Pokemon that I'd have a lot of play into if shields go down. You know, like Corviknight, for example. If shields aren't in play, Gigaton Hammer starts doing so much work. What is this? Why is there another one of these? Okay. I think, honestly, this is still very playable. But Shadow Ampharos is, like, an insanely scary pick at times. Especially because I don't know what's in the backline, but my Tinkaton is still kind of nervous about what it could be. Or it's going to be a Trailblaze. I gotta shield this, right? There's no way around it. Yeah, we give up our final shield. 5. Let's throw this before they can potentially go for a Brutal Swing at the very least. I want to try to get some damage off against this, so either I can farm down, or just get the final shield. Okay, I'm fine getting the shield, honestly. I bet Tinkaton walls what this thing wants to do to us, right? Like, sure, it's going to be a +2 Shadow Ampharos, but it's going to throw Brutal Swings or Trailblazes into us. And I can keep my energy on my Fearow, which could be good. Or I guess I can just knock this out, so I don't even take a charge attack. Maybe they're not on Brutal Swing. But what could be in the backline that we beat at this point? It's gonna be an odd game. It is the Corviknight. So I need to try to get to 2 Gigaton Hammers. And if they catch against us, then we lose. But if I get a second Gigaton Hammer off at any point this game, and then, like, if they don't catch my Drill Peck, we should be in a good spot. They're gonna go for a payback. Does an Air Cutter plus a payback knock us out, though? I hope it doesn't. Okay, they have Iron Head, which is actually so much worse for us. That's probably just game over then. Iron Head Corv? Okay, you can't make this up. You can't make it up at all. Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably should have... Ooh, wait. They throw energy here. Is there ever a chance? I don't know if there is. Like, Air Cutter is going to knock us out, but now my Fearow doesn't have to worry about, like, an instant charge attack from this. A boost, which is, like, whatever. I think this is, like, fine. I needed to throw a move into Guzzlord anyway. And, I mean, Corviknight either gets a move off or it doesn't here. Yeah, I was never farming that down. I don't think a Drill Peck would have been enough. And Iron Head, I think Iron Head might have bailed them out. I think Iron Head bailed them out so hard there. That is so unfortunate. Because I think a Drill Peck does, like, maybe, like, 20-25%. There's no way it would have knocked out from that range. Alright, next battle. Ironhead Corviknight is crazy. Hopefully we don't see another one of those. We do see a Shadow Quagsire in the lead, which, I mean, I've seen a lot of Quagsires recently, not even running Stone Edge, so the big question is, should I respect the Quagsire or not? 8. They're at back-to-back Aqua Tails here. I think I will respect it, just because I don't want to be in a spot where I die. That would be bad. Okay, they're at 4. They come in with a Togekiss. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of fine with this. I don't have a great answer into Togekiss on my team, so just being able to chip this down isn't bad. Oh, we're getting a shield. It's nice, too. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think at this point, I am fine just kind of sacrificing my Tinkaton here. They likely are going to go and shield up this attack, because why wouldn't you? You know that at this point, if you shield this attack up, you can probably get another Orisphere, maybe 2 off this game, and that's pretty nice. But if they do shield this attack, then they have to hope that I get knocked out by the next move from this Togekiss. Which I don't actually know if I do. They are at back-to-back. Keep that in mind. And they have an Aqua Tail loaded on the Quagsire. But yeah, I actually forced a second move out of him here. That's fine by me. I don't really care about this. Okay. I just let that farm down happen. Maybe it's a bad play, but it's a play I'm making. I'll absorb some energy here just in case they do have Stone Edge, and then I think the play is come in with my Fearow and go for a peck down. I have a lot of energy on Fearow. I have some energy on Quagsire. The Togekiss might not be in range of a Drill Peck, though, and that's where I'm a little bit scared. What's in the back? We do see the Togekiss come back in. Yeah, I don't think a Drill Peck would be quite enough from that range to knock out, but I can overfarm here and have some energy for the backline. I do need this thing gone, though. Oh, okay, Wigglytuff comes in. I was going to say, I kind of need this thing gone before they swap out, but I guess that the switch clock was already up. But I mean, Wigglytuff in the back is kind of great to see, actually. I should be able to just knock this out with 2 Drill Pecks and come out with another one loaded. Yeah, we just throw after 6. CMP on the Swift. We have back-to-back moves ready to go. And we're actually healthy enough here, too, that they can't really peck us down if they even survive the Drill Peck, right? Nice, we knock out the Wigglytuff. We have the Drill Peck loaded. And even if this doesn't knock out, either I get an Aqua Tail or I peck down with my Fearow. Let's see what happens. How much does this do? What actually does knock out? Wow. Okay, I guess, you know, Fearow's a little bit better than I'm giving it credit for. Next battle. Fearow into Shadow Dusknoir. That's a beautiful lead. I resist the Astonish damage. I guess Dynamic Punch would hurt quite a bit, but we outpace him so heavily here that I don't think they can really stay in. They stayed in? Oh, they actually switch out, though, into a Bug Bite Fortress. Okay. What do I do here? Oh, I get a shield. Interesting. I mean, with shields down, that Dusknoir is looking pretty hard to have play into my team. Right? Like, it's not going to do a lot for them right now. We get a shield from them, and then they CMP on the second move. Rock Tomb. Okay. Yeah, we just bring in Tinkaton, I think, here. And we just build up energy. They're basically in Bulldoze range. And they probably want to get some damage off here. They probably don't want to let me potentially get my move off first. So, yeah, we do force energy out of them. But if I always have enough energy to outpace that Dusknoir to a Gigaton Hammer, then they're going to be in a pretty precarious position, right? Because Shadow Dusknoir, I'm almost certain, will get deleted by a Gigaton Hammer. Maybe they survive barely, but that just gives me some Fairy Wind energy. Yeah, like, what's that supposed to do? Now there's one Pokemon left. They're out of here. Let's go. A 3-2 set. You know, not quite as good as our first set there with the team, but honestly, it was still pretty fun. Although, wait, we had the one loss as well, thanks to lag, didn't we? Which is crazy. We could have gone even better this set. 2,900 on the dot. Decent climb. We'll take it. Fearow is such a strong Pokemon right now. Its pacing, its coverage, basically everything about it, aside from the fact that it is a little bit squishy, everything else about this Pokemon is so nice. Pairs well with Tinkaton, pairs well with Shadow Quagsire. Give this team a go if you want to try it out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.